My name is Jan Willis, and I am a individual who utilizes and resources Fresh Harvest Food Bank.
And my name's Nicole, and I am the volunteer coordinator at the Fresh Harvest Food Bank. So I work with the lovely volunteers who get to come in and help us.
How has Fresh Harvest Food Bank helped your family?
Well, I'll give you a little background. I've lived in Highlands Ranch for 14 years. I have raised my children here. I have two daughters, biological daughters, who have graduated from college. They attended both Crest Hill and Highlands Ranch High School. And so those were years when I was working professionally, and there was no difficulty making ends meet. I was on the other side that I am right now. I was helping provide, volunteering, long school hours. I was employed by the school district at one point as an occupational therapist. So to have all of a sudden flipped 4 years ago and been in a position that I used to help others, but to have to now walk through the door and need help. The reason for that is there was a young woman who was 24 years old, and she asked if I would watch her children for 4 days. And I said yes, only because I had been laid off from my job and it was something that I could do. And so I took the children for 4 days. At the time, there was an infant 8 weeks old, a 3-year-old little girl, and 2 boys that were twins, 4 years each, and they were all siblings. There's a very long and complicated story that went on for 2 years, but the short of it is Mom left her children and moved to another state, and the only other alternative was for the children to be placed and split up in various homes and placed in foster to adopt. And I'd had these children for 2 years with the idea that Mom would be able to get things together and be able to parent her children again. As a result, I thought long and hard about my future, realizing that I was going to be raising children well into my early 70s, and that was going to be a very different retirement for me. And I also was very concerned about income. But I decided that it was the right thing to do, and that I would keep the children and their legal guardian. They're amazing kids. They, 3 of the 4 attend Douglas County Elementary School. The littlest is just turned 4. And I found myself, I used all my savings. I don't have a home anymore. I have to rent. There are many obstacles that have accompanied this. And as a result of Fresh Harvest Food Bank, I'm still able to put healthy food in front of my children. The food bank itself is bigger than just sometimes what you've expected in your average food banks. I've attended many, and I was told about Fresh Harvest, and I was reluctant to go because it takes a level of strength to walk in the door and ask for help, especially when you were always the giver. And so it took me a long time to be able to do that. First and foremost, what I think is important to share about Fresh Harvest is, as hard as it is for me to come and to work myself up every month to be here, my dignity remains intact. The smiles, the greeting, the caring. I'm not a victim of, I'm not seen as a victim of needing help. I'm seen as somebody who needs a hand up. And it's generously given by Fresh Harvest. They provide not only what many food banks provide, but they provide fresh foods, produce, and fresh fruits and fresh vegetables are huge. They know that Douglas County School elementary kids have snacks, and those are very expensive, and they will put snack boxes in with my items. Cereals, very expensive, and they make sure that the kids have cereals and peanut butter and jelly and a multitude of other things, even the hygiene, the soap and the toothpaste. Toothpaste is so expensive, and when you're doing it for 4 little kids, everything goes very quickly. And so the gift of Fresh Harvest is that it's very diverse. They don't just concentrate on one area. The other thing that Fresh Harvest Food Bank allows me to do is come in and look for clothes for the children and myself. That's huge. Clothing is expensive, and I want my children dressed nicely. I want them to feel good about themselves. And Fresh Harvest volunteers and people in the community donate clothes that make a huge difference for us. In addition, every month that my children have a birthday, they call me up and they ask me something that the children really like. And I come in and they provide a birthday bag, and it's full of, there's a cake mix, and there's frosting, and there's a couple presents, and there's a birthday card, and there's wrapping paper. All of the things that are super expensive when you're raising children. And sometimes you just really are kind of not sure how you're going to do it that month. And Fresh Harvest has been able to take that weight off from me by providing these gifts to the children, and the fun, the decorations, just all kinds of neat things. I don't know that there are words that express my gratefulness for Fresh Harvest. And certainly everyone in the community can help. Maybe you don't want to take in 4 kids, but you can provide the food that keeps people like myself and my children afloat in a community that looks like it doesn't have any problems, a community that we kind of see the big beautiful houses and the nice cars, and we don't realize that there's a lot of us out there that need help. And sometimes it's the people who least look like it. So your gift and giving to Fresh Harvest Food Bank, your support, your ability to look beyond just a can of food and a box of food, but to look at what is it that you would like if you were in this situation. Would you like nice clothes? Would you like to have snacks? Would you like to have fresh food? As opposed to just a can and a box of something. So that's...
Don't you kind of feel like it's teaching the kids a good life lesson too, of giving back?
Absolutely. In terms of the people who are donating, Oh my gosh, yes. And interestingly enough, someone said that to me. They're like, wait a minute, you go to the food bank, but you also bring to the food bank. And I'm like, heck yes, because my kids can't just be receivers. They also have to be givers, and they need to learn how to give. So in our receiving, we also give. And I think that it is a tremendous opportunity for young people to be able to experience the incredible difference they can make in others' lives.